Madison Gesiotto coming to you once again from quarantine and back with the good news. You know, we've all had our lives impacted in some way, shape, or form by coronavirus, whether that be through a first-hand experience with the virus itself, or maybe through an economic impact that we've seen in our household or in our community. We've all suffered in some way as a result of our lives being turned upside down ultimately by this pandemic. But the one thing that I'm continuing to hear echoed among people from all across the country is that, you know, we want more facts. We want and deserve to know the truth. And a good piece of news on this front is the fact that we're seeing great unity among nations all over the world, with now over 116 nations coming together publicly in support of further investigation into the Chinese Communist Party and the origins of coronavirus. The unfortunate reality is that this virus did originate in Wuhan, China, and that instead of telling the truth to the world and potentially saving lives, the Chinese government covered some of this up. And so we want to know the truth, ultimately, what happened and where this started. And so we'll continue to keep an eye on that investigation and bring you more information as it comes out. You know, another great piece of news internationally is some research coming out of South Korea in regards to COVID patients who have tested positive for a second time. So we saw this bring a lot of concern to New Yorkers when one of the first coronavirus patients in New York recovered, then ultimately came back to the hospital and tested positive again. People were very concerned. I have friends in New York that had coronavirus that, you know, reached out to me about this, saying, hey, you know, I'm around my elderly grandparents and, you know, we thought everything was okay since I had already recovered and had tested positive once, but we're seeing, you know, these reports come out. Should we be worried? And of course, there's still more research to be done, but with this research coming out of South Korea, we have some great news in that they're saying that even if you test positive for a second time, it doesn't seem that you can infect others, and that coronavirus wouldn't be infectious on that second positive test. We got to keep an eye on this, but this is some really good news, and ultimately, you know, could change the course of recovery for coronavirus worldwide. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that good news. And, you know, here in the United States, one thing that I've been really, really happy to see is the great show of support for those in need in our communities. And in Virginia Beach, we saw Donato's team up with the local church, making sure that they could collect items for local food bank to make sure that, you know, people in their area are fed, and not only just food items, but also, you know, everyday necessities like diapers and wipes and, you know, different things that families may need. And so we're seeing this not only in Virginia Beach, but all across the country. And this is, you know, just a great show of, you know, American support for their communities, and just really, really heartwarming to see this and making sure that people, you know, people have their needs met despite the fact that we're going through a tough time and a lot of people are still out of work. So we'll continue to keep an eye on these stories and so much more. And if you have any stories, you know, that you haven't seen in the news about great things that have happened in your community during this time, be sure to share them with us so that we can share them with everybody and continue to spread good news. We'll be back.